Clara Whitmore's fingers bled as she pushed the needle through thick fabric for the 16th hour that day. The Philadelphia sweatshop stank of unwashed bodies and desperation. At 24, she'd spent 12 years here since her parents died of cholera. This wasn't living. It was slow death. The newspaper page lay hidden beneath her work advertisements for mail-order brides out west. One caught her eye repeatedly. Successful Montana rancher seeks capable wife. Must be hard-working and resilient. Comfortable home provided. Respond to Marcus Donovan, Crescent Moon Ranch, Silver Pine Valley. That night, by candle stub, Clara penned her response with trembling hands. She described herself honestly, a seamstress with no family, no dowry, but strong hands and stronger will. She posted it before courage failed. 3 weeks later, his reply arrived with train fare enclosed. Come to Montana. We'll give you a home and a purpose. I believe we can build something real together. The handwriting was firm, confident. Clara gave notice, sold her few possessions, and boarded the westbound train with everything she owned in one carpetbag. 4 days of rattling across America, watching cities fade into farmland, fade into endless prairie. Her fear grew with each mile from civilization. The conductor called Silver Pine Valley, and Clara's heart hammered. Through dirty window glass, she saw a frontier town, wooden buildings weathered gray, dirt streets, horses tied to hitching posts. Mountains loomed beyond, purple against vast sky. She stepped onto the platform, clutching her bag, auburn hair escaping its braid in the wind. Dust swirled around her gray dress. Men stopped to stare. Women whispered. She felt terribly alone. "Miss Whitmore?" A voice like thunder, deep and commanding. Clara turned, and her breath stopped. 3 men stood there, identical giants, towering over 6 feet tall. Chestnut hair, steel blue eyes, sun-bronzed skin, powerful builds that spoke of hard labor. They looked like they'd been carved from the mountains themselves. The one in the dark brown vest stepped forward, removing his black Stetson. "I'm Marcus Donovan. These are my brothers, Silas and Nathan. We're triplets." Clara's voice came out smaller than intended. "Your letter didn't mention brothers." "No, ma'am, it didn't." Marcus's steel blue eyes held hers with uncomfortable intensity. "The ranch is ours, together. Has been since our father died 5 years back. When I wrote Seeking a Wife, I wrote for all 3 of us. For the ranch. For our family." Silas, in the tan vest, spoke gentler. "We understand this is unexpected, Miss Whitmore. If you want to turn around and go back, we'll pay your return fare." Nathan, darker and more intense in black, added quietly, "But we're hoping you'll give us a chance. Give this a chance." Clara looked between 3 identical faces, seeing subtle differences now. Marcus's leadership in his stance, Silas's warmth in his eyes, Nathan's protective vigilance in his watchfulness. Her mind spun, but her heart knew. There was nothing for her back east. Only more needle pricks and slow starvation. "I came here for a new life," she said, lifting her chin. "Let's see what that looks like." Marcus's face broke into a slow smile that transformed him from intimidating to devastatingly handsome. "Welcome to Montana, Miss Whitmore." They loaded her single bag onto a wagon. Clara climbed up, aided by Silas's massive but gentle hand, finding herself seated between Marcus driving and Nathan on the other side. Silas rode his horse alongside. She felt surrounded by masculine strength, and it was both frightening and thrilling. The ranch sat 10 miles from town, and they spent the ride in awkward silence broken by the brothers pointing out landmarks. Clara noticed how they moved together, anticipating each other's actions without words. A lifetime of being identical had created something almost supernatural in their connection. The Crescent Moon Ranch spread across a valley that stole Clara's breath. Thousands of acres of grassland, cattle dotting hillsides like brown clouds, a river cutting silver through the landscape. The main house stood solid 2 stories of weathered wood with a wide porch, smoke rising from stone chimney, barns and outbuildings scattered nearby. "It's beautiful," Clara whispered. "It's home," Marcus said simply. "Could be yours too, if you'll have it." That first evening was awkward. The house interior showed clear signs of men living alone, functional but bare, clean enough but lacking any softness. 3 bedrooms upstairs, Clara was told. The 4th would be hers. For now. Over dinner, decent steak, overcooked vegetables, burned biscuits, the brothers explained their operation. They ran 2,000 head of cattle, bred horses, employed 6 ranch hands. The work was brutal, especially come roundup and winter. They needed help with the house, the accounts, the 1,000 tasks they had no time for. And, Marcus said carefully, we need a woman's influence to make this a home instead of just a work camp. Clara studied the 3 faces watching her. You said Marcus's letter was for all of you. What exactly does that mean? Silence stretched. Finally Nathan spoke, his intense gaze direct. We've never been apart. We work together, live together, share everything. When Marcus decided to advertise for a wife, it was because we all agreed this ranch needs a woman. But you'll marry Marcus, Silas added quickly. Legal and proper. Nathan and I will be your brothers by marriage. That's all. Though we'll all be here, Marcus finished. Living together, working together, raising any children together. We can't offer conventional, Miss Whitmore, but we can offer you partnership, protection, and everything we have. Clara's hands shook as she set down her fork. This was madness. 3 identical giants proposing she marry one and live with all 3. It went against every propriety she'd been taught. But those teachings came from a society that had left her bleeding her fingers raw for pennies. What did propriety matter when you were starving? I need time to think, she managed. Take all the time you need, Marcus said gently. You're safe here. No pressure. No obligations. Just give us a chance to prove this could work. That night in her room, the first room she'd ever had to herself, Clara stared out at stars, bigger and brighter than any she'd seen through Philadelphia's smoke. Somewhere below, she heard the brothers talking in low voices. About her. Certainly. She should be terrified. Should be planning escape. Instead, she felt something unexpected. Possibility. The next weeks fell into patterns. Clara threw herself into making the house livable, sewing curtains from fabric in town, organizing, cleaning, cooking proper meals. The brothers responded with obvious gratitude and increasing respect. She learned their differences. Marcus was the natural leader, making decisions, handling business. Silas was the heart, gentle with animals and people, always ensuring everyone was cared for. Nathan was the protector, watching for threats, handling problems, quiet but intensely present. And all 3 watched her with barely concealed longing that made her skin flush hot. One evening, helping Silas with an injured horse, their hands touched and electricity arced between them. He pulled back quickly, apologizing. But Clara had felt it too, that same pull she felt around Marcus's commanding presence, around Nathan's protective intensity. She was falling for all 3 of them. It should have been impossible. It felt inevitable. The evening, Marcus called her to the porch, all 3 brothers waiting. She knew what was coming. Clara, Marcus began, and the use of her first name sent shivers through her. We need to be honest about what we're all feeling. Silas stepped forward. I know it's not proper, but watching you these weeks, seeing you make this place a home, seeing your strength and kindness, Clara, I'm falling in love with you, Nathan added roughly. We all are, all 3 of us, and we think you might feel something too. Clara's heart raced. This is madness. Probably, Marcus agreed, but that doesn't make it less real. Clara, I'm asking you to marry me, to be my wife legally, but I'm also asking if you can accept my brothers as part of our family, if you can love all 3 of us. She should refuse, should run. Instead, Clara heard herself whisper, what would that even look like? Marcus's eyes blazed. Like you're ours, and we're yours. Like we build this ranch and this life together. Like we protect you and cherish you and give you everything we have, all 3 of us. The town would talk, she breathed. Let them, Nathan growled. Anyone who has a problem answers to us. Silas's voice was gentle. We're not, asking you to decide tonight. Just think about it. Think about whether you can be happy with us, all of us." Clara looked between three identical faces, showing three different expressions of the same desperate hope. She thought about Philadelphia, about bleeding fingers and empty stomach, about dying slowly in that sweatshop. She thought about this ranch, this impossible, beautiful place, about curtains she'd sewn and meals she'd cooked, and a house becoming home, about three men who looked at her like she was precious. "Ask me again tomorrow," she said quietly. "Let me have one more night to be sure." Tomorrow came with clarity. Clara woke knowing what her heart wanted, even if her mind called it madness. She found the brothers at breakfast, all three watching her with barely restrained tension. "Yes," she said simply, "I'll marry you, Marcus, and I'll build this life with all three of you." The wedding happened quickly. Before she could change her mind, the local preacher raised eyebrows but performed the ceremony. The town gossiped, but no one challenged three Donovan brothers who could break a man in half. Clara became Mrs. Marcus Donovan legally. But when the ceremony ended and she stood surrounded by three towering cowboys, she became something more, the heart of an unconventional family that chose each other against all propriety. The first real test came when rustlers hit the ranch 2 months into their marriage. Cattle disappeared in the night. The brothers rode out in fury, and Clara armed herself, defending the ranch house when the thieves circled back. She shot a man trying to break in, and Nathan found her standing over the body with shaking hands and smoking rifle. He pulled her into his arms, and she realized she felt safe there, as safe as in Marcus's embrace or Silas's gentle hold. Winter hit hard, snowing them in for weeks. Confined to the house, the four of them learned intimacy beyond physical talking by firelight, sharing stories, revealing fears and dreams. Clara discovered she loved each brother differently, but equally deeply. Spring brought more than melting snow. It brought Clara's realization that she was pregnant. She told them together, watching three identical faces transform with wonder. "Ours," Marcus breathed. "Doesn't matter who biologically," Silas added. "This baby is ours. All of ours." Nathan's hand rested protectively on her still flat belly. "We're a family. A real family." The baby, a boy they named James, was born into more love than any child could hope for. Three fathers who doted on him endlessly, teaching him to ride and rope and read. A mother who knew the value of choosing your own family. As years passed, the crescent moon prospered. The town accepted the Donovan family's unusual arrangement, mostly because no one dared challenge the brothers. More children came twins, then a daughter. The ranch employed dozens. Clara stood on the porch one sunset, watching her children play, while three identical cowboys worked nearby, and felt profound gratitude. She'd answered an advertisement expecting maybe survival. She'd found everything: home, purpose, love, multiplied by 3. A life richer than any Philadelphia society girl could dream. The 10 inches Marcus had promised in his first letter, 10 inches of Montana soil for her garden, had grown into acres of belonging, into a family that defied convention but created unshakable happiness. Clara Whitmore Donovan had taken the biggest risk of her life, stepping off that train, and she'd won everything.